I'm Roger Lasad and I love real estate. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is episode 14, and in this episode I'm asking the question, are you looking for deals or just avoiding risk? Let's get into it. So today I went and met up with an investor group at around lunchtime at a local restaurant. Now, just to give you an indication, the group of people I met with probably had close to 200 years of real estate investing experience. Most of them had invested in nearly every single state in the United States. When I say most of them, I don't mean collectively, I mean individually. Most of them had properties over the course of their careers across almost the entire United States. Now, with that being said, they get together once a week and they essentially put deals together right there over the restaurant table. It was pretty interesting to observe because essentially they get together, they all know each other, and one person will basically ask, hey, what does anyone have? The other person was like, hey, I've got XYZ. Is anyone interested? Someone might say they're interested, and then they start negotiating terms. I found this to be very interesting. And one of the questions I asked them is, what do you guys think is going to happen in the market? And they all kind of looked at me with a look on their faces as if I was not in the know. And they basically said, none of us know. And if we did know, we would have what was going to happen in the next year, year and a half, or 2 years, then they would have known what would have happened during the last financial crisis and before it had happened. And if they had known, they would have all had enough money to purchase a state. Yeah, guys, that's right. I said they were saying, I mean, and they kind of said it in a joking manner, but not such in a joking manner, where they felt that if they really knew what was going to happen or they could predict the future in the market, they would have enough wealth to literally buy an entire state of the United States. Just to give you an indication of what their feelings are on that. And that conversation got me to thinking. There are a lot of people out here that are sitting on the sidelines, and their reasoning for that is they're waiting for deals to happen because they're anticipating a recession, a market crash, etc. But now I have to ask, if people that have 30, 40, 50, 60 years of investment experience and have done extremely well. By extremely well, trust me guys, I do mean extremely well in real estate over the course of their careers. And they're not saying they know what's going to happen. Not only are they not saying they know what's going to happen, that's not stopping them from doing real estate transactions. Now, this video and this discussion is going to be more focused towards investors. So this isn't going to apply to a lot of buyers that are looking to buy a home for them to live in, etc. So this is mainly focused for people that are investors or thinking about investing or currently have some properties and potentially sitting on the sidelines. So the fact that they didn't know what was going to happen in the market did not stop them from transacting deals. In fact, did not stop them from meeting up, discussing different things, and actually going through some deals. I even was made aware of some opportunities that even I might want to take advantage of as I research them more, as I research them, and potentially might go ahead with that. On the surface, they sound like good deals. As well as in a tight market, they also introduced me to very imaginative and interesting ways of making deals happen, basically by creative financing and the like. So my question to you out there, if you're sitting on the sidelines, is it really because you are looking for a deal, or is it really because you're using that as a way to basically explain why you're not investing, when in reality, you're just risk averse? So let's break this down. What I found is that the seasoned investors, the experienced investors, have been doing it a long time. usually don't pay that much attention to the market, in the sense of they're not trying to time or predict the market. The main thing that they're always going to focus on, and I keep saying it over and over again, and I'll keep saying it until some of you people start dreaming about this, the data and the numbers. So what do I mean by that? Once again, if you're investing in a particular area, you have to be cognizant of what's going on in that area. Are there new developments? Are more people moving into that area? Has the school system gone up? Has it gone down? Are they are new companies moving into your area? Are there things affecting that? Are there things going on in that area that could affect home values in the near to mid future? You should be aware of that information. That's what I mean by the data, as you know, as well as the demographics, the incomes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have numbers. Can you acquire properties at a price where you can make a profit? And then if you can't, the next thing would be is, can you figure out a way that you could creatively acquire that property in order for the numbers to work? And that's one of the things that I met with these seasoned real estate investors. They also gave me some ideas that definitely opened my mind up to different possibilities and different ways to look at different situations, even when conventional financing may not work. Obviously, many of you have heard of creative financing, but I didn't know just how creative financing could be. So with that being said, if you're a real estate investor or someone potentially looking to invest in real estate, ask yourself these questions. If you have the means and the ability, you have the data and you have the numbers, and the only reason that you're not investing, assuming you're being presented with deals with numbers that make sense, there's really good data, ask yourself why you're not taking advantage now to invest. Is it because you think there's a recession around the corner and that there'll be better deals? Is it because you think there'll be a real estate crash? Or even better yet, I would like to ask you the question of, how did you guys do the last time there was a legitimate severe recession and real estate crash? Right around 2008. Did you take advantage of those opportunities, and how well did you do? Another question I would have for you is, are you one of the people that have been waiting on the sidelines since around 2017, 2018, that believed the next year would be when the crash would happen, only to see prices keep rising and keep rising and keep rising? I mean, guys, since 2017 to 2022, there has been a significant increase in the cost of real estate. There's been a significant increase in rental incomes. And I know for a fact there have been a lot of people that have been sitting on the sidelines that could have taken advantage of this but didn't. So then the question bears asking is that, why didn't you take advantage of what was then deals? And are you really just avoiding risk? So how does one know if they're avoiding risk? Well, as I said before, the two main components of a good deal: data, the numbers, and a price that makes sense for you, which should be dependent on the data and the numbers. If you're being presented deals like this and you're not taking advantage of them, and you have the means and the ability to do so, then maybe you've got to sit back and reanalyze your goals and objectives in investing in real estate, because maybe the types of properties, the types of neighbors, there's something about these situations that your subconscious, whatever, is basically telling you it's too risky, and you're coming up with these other reasons like, well, I'm just going to wait until there's a recession or a market crash or what have you to basically take advantage. Essentially what you're doing is you're trying to mitigate risk by waiting on a supposed crash where theoretically you could get properties, at extremely below market prices. Now, the crazy thing is there are ways that you can do that right now. But as I said before, I think for a lot of people out there, I think their risk tolerance is probably a lot lower than they're communicating to other people they work with, i.e. their agents or brokers if they work with them, or potential other investors, or even themselves, or even their family. I know everyone wants great returns, high appreciation, but guys, that comes with a certain degree of risk, and you have to be able to really take a hard look and be honest with yourself as to how much risk you're willing to accept. And I'll give you some numbers. If you're looking for returns in the mid to high teens or even higher into 20% and higher, you have to be willing to accept a much higher degree of risk than if you're looking for returns, let's say, in the mid to high single digits. Maybe instead of waiting for the recession or the housing crash or whatever, maybe some of you guys that have been sitting on the sidelines for years, instead of waiting for that to happen where you think you can achieve these really high and incredible returns, what needs to happen is that you need to lower what your objectives are as far as returns, appreciation, etc., and get something a bit more conservative. Because that's another thing too. As the returns go down, what generally tends to happen, it tends to be a safer investment. And yeah, guys, I think that's going to work a lot better for a lot of you guys that are sitting on the sidelines than waiting for the supposed crash. And then another important thing is, I would say for everyone out there that's on the sidelines waiting, do your research and know what a deal looks like, because I suspect many of you probably did not recognize that 2016, 2017, 2018, even 2019, these were excellent times to buy, because what you could have got back then as far as returns, even if you were not looking for investment but just buying a house, what you could have gotten back then versus now is night and day. Basically what I'm saying is those years, 2016 to 2019, for most of the country, there were tons of deals to be had. So then the question I pose to many people out there, if you didn't invest during those years, why not? I mean, assuming you were able, and that's something that you were very interested in doing, why didn't you? Were you part of the group that kept waiting for, or believed all the talking heads that kept saying that this unprecedented expansion in the U.S. economy had to come to an end and that the recession was right around the corner? No, it wasn't. Is a recession going to happen later this year, next year? I don't know. I don't pretend to know. All I can tell you is that according to the data, it doesn't seem likely, but the honest truth is that I don't know. Anything can happen. But what I do know is that if you are to be successful long term in real estate investing, you have to sit down, write out your goals and objectives, and understand the risk associated with higher returns versus the lower risk associated with lower returns. And you have to be able to control your emotions. Two emotions that will lead you to ruin or to making mistakes when it comes to not only real estate investing, but investing in general, are greed and fear. If you've got the risk tolerance, if you have low risk tolerance, but you want high gains, that's probably going to lead you to make bad decisions. The same way, if you are fearful, and by fear I mean false evidence appearing real, if you don't know the actual numbers in the data and you're just going off of rumor or just listening to talking heads that are just saying certain things just to get eyeballs, just to get views, etc., and you're not doing your own research, that you might pass up a lot of really good deals. Because you got to remember, this massive computer between our ears gives you what you focus on. If you put into your mind there are no deals out there, then guess what? A deal could be left on your porch, gift wrapped, with the most obvious signals, and you're going to pass it by as, oh no, this is a setup, this can't be, this is too good to be true, etc. So you've got to be open to the fact that A, there are deals in any type of market. B, you have to be willing to do the homework and the legwork to find said deals. One of the things I would recommend, and one of the things I've been doing very fervently this past year plus, is I've been networking, and that is leading me to a lot of networks and potentially a lot of significant deals. As well as you've got to be able to recognize a deal when it's presented, which means you've got to study your market, you've got to know the numbers, you've got to know what's going on in your area, so that when something is presented to you, especially something that's presented to you that maybe a lot of people don't know about, that you could take advantage of. Case in point, maybe there's an apartment building that, because of the zoning, requires a certain amount of parking spaces, and a lot of people pass that up because they were like, well, this isn't going to work on this apartment building, even though it was grandfathered in. I'm looking at the zoning, I'm probably going to have a lot of problems because there isn't enough parking space if I basically take it over and I try to do a value add, improve the building, etc., etc. You might have known that the zoning is about to change because they're adding a rapid transit stop near that building, and then there will be a variance for said parking spaces. And then you could take advantage of that property and have a really good gain. So guys, I just want you guys to think about this, really introspect, because at this point I'm seeing a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines, and with the reasoning being they're waiting for this huge market crash, huge recession. And I suspect even if we do get that, many of these people will then, when we are experiencing crash or recession or whatever, and there actually are a lot of homes and properties that have been priced significantly lower than there are now, that they're going to come up with some other reason. Well, the economy's bad. I don't feel comfortable investing now. Well, I don't know how the economy is going to go. The economy might go even lower. So once again, guys, ask yourselves that question. Are you looking for deals or just avoiding risk? And be honest with yourself. Anyway, guys, I'm Roger Lasad. Stay knowledgeable, study those numbers, study the data, and keep investing. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.